Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's big story, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important updates about Zimbabwe and beyond. Turn on that notification bell too so you get every update as it happens. Now let's talk about the breaking news that has everyone talking. President Emerson Mnangagwa has written a letter and people are saying that what's inside could determine the future of Zimbabwe. This story is huge because it touches on the country's constitution, elections, and how leaders are chosen, and it affects every Zimbabwean directly. What we are really seeing here is more than just a letter. It represents a series of moves by the government to change the rules that govern how Zimbabwe is run. The key issue on the table right now is a proposed constitutional amendment. This amendment, if approved, could extend presidential and parliamentary terms from 5 years to 7 years. That alone is significant because it changes the rhythm of political life in the country. Not only that, there are plans that could change the way the president is elected, giving parliament more power to choose the president instead of the people voting directly. This is a very big shift and one that has raised a lot of concern from citizens, opposition parties, civil society groups, and even church leaders. People are calling it a constitutional coup because it could reduce the influence of ordinary voters on who leads the country. Now, I want to pause here and say again, if you are enjoying this detailed update, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Every like helps the channel grow and helps more people get the news clearly explained. Public reaction to these developments has been intense. Across Zimbabwe, citizens have voiced their concerns through protests, public statements, and organized campaigns. When the government held public hearings to gather feedback on this constitutional amendment, many people showed up to share their opinions. Unfortunately, some of these sessions became tense with the reports of people being silenced or intimidated. It's clear that this is not just a simple legal change. It's something that touches the heart of democracy in Zimbabwe. Opposition parties have been very vocal, calling this a threat to democracy. And they argue that the amendment could trap Zimbabwe under long-term leadership without giving citizens a fair chance to vote. Even religious leaders have spoken out, warning that such changes could weaken the trust between the government and the people. It's also worth noting that civil society groups are taking action beyond the country's borders. Some have reached out to international organizations like the United Nations and the Southern African Development Community, asking them to step in and ensure that Zimbabwe remains democratic and fair. As for the letter from President Mnangagwa, it's being viewed as a symbol of the government's stance on these changes. Whether it's actually a personal letter or part of official communication, the contents are considered very influential. Citizens and international observers alike are watching closely because whatever decisions are made now will have long-term consequences for Zimbabwe's politics, economy, and society. Now, I want to remind you again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Share it with your friends so everyone can understand what's happening in real time. This constitutional amendment could also affect the timing of future elections. If passed, elections that were scheduled for 2028 could be delayed until 2030. That means leaders could remain in office longer than people initially expected. Many Zimbabweans are concerned about this because it affects their ability to influence government decisions and policies. Public discussions around these topics are ongoing. People are debating not just the technicalities of the amendment, but also the fairness and transparency of the process. There are discussions in communities, churches, universities, and online. Social media has been filled with opinions, both supporting and opposing the proposed changes. Some people feel that this is necessary to maintain stability, while others believe it threatens the democratic foundation of the country. We are also seeing comparisons with other African countries where changes in leadership terms and election processes have sparked debates. Zimbabwe is at a critical moment, and the decisions made in the coming weeks could determine the country's future for years. Before I continue further, I want to make sure everyone watching is keeping up. If you haven't yet, hit like and subscribe. This channel brings you the news and the full story in clear English so everyone can understand. Now, the truth is, Zimbabweans today are at a crossroads. This is not just about one leader or one letter. It's about how laws are written, how elections are held, and how leaders are held accountable. The people's voices are crucial. Every Zimbabwean's opinion matters because these decisions will affect education, health, jobs, and daily life.